And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special weekend edition where we do the weekend roundup. Well, there's a lot that's been happening out there, but right now the news that is following the confirmation of an additional community case in Sydney, the Chief Health Officer has declared local government area of Waverley a hotspot. So as from 1 a.m. today, which is Saturday 19 June, anyone arriving in Queensland who has been in the Waverley local government area within the past 14 days must go into hotel quarantine. Non-Queensland residents will need an exemption to enter Queensland. Greater Melbourne remains a hotspot. All travellers to Queensland must complete a Queensland Travel Declaration before entering the state. As always, please monitor your symptoms carefully, and if you feel sick, stay at home and arrange for a test immediately. So that's the breaking news right now. As we know that it is very hard, but for people, some of the ones caught actually on the border, some are awaiting the second vaccination and awaiting their appointments, and lots of complications that do happen, but these are tough decisions and decisions that need to be made. Well, right now, moving on, this Saturday, the 19th of June, the temperature outside in Brisbane is a beautiful 19 degrees on a very sunny, beautiful, typical Brisbane day, and it is just wonderful to see that. Well, right now we'll take a look at some of the things that have been happening through the week and some of the things that you might have missed. Well, first of all, on every Wednesday we have the real estate update with Usha Chandra. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to this very special segment of Real Estate Update with Usha Chandra. And with that, welcome to the show, Usha.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's great to be in the studios of Australian Indian Radio.
Well, it is a great time to be in real estate, but when we're looking at some of the renters and some of the young people are finding it hard to buy real estate. So let's take a look at that report before we go into the actual show for today. So as you know, that show comes on air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. So it is wonderful to see that you get an insight into that real estate update every Wednesday. And that report which says that it is becoming very hard for the youngsters these days. But as was said in that report, that is getting the deposit, and many times mom and dad come to the rescue and help with the deposit. So what have you been finding, Usha?
Absolutely true. I mean, look at the prices over there. In last 5 years, 65% was the increased value, and similar things we are finding here in Brisbane as well. A lot of young ones can't afford the deposit, like their mum and dads are coming as their bankers, putting some deposit or lending the money to their children, or getting giving the equity of their own homes so the children can borrow against their equity and buy a house. So it's very, very difficult for younger generation to buy properties at the moment. Though the interest rate is so low, but the affordability, the deposit is the problem with the young ones.
So finding the deposit, even though in that report that people had spent a lot of time doing overtime and about 5 years of dedicated saving, but even then coming up with the deposit sometimes. Okay, well, anyway, let's move on with the show. That is the show, and you can go online and watch the full episode, and you can watch it on Australian Indian Radio's Facebook page or also the YouTube channel as well, which might be easier to navigate. Whichever takes your fancy, you can do that. So that's on Wednesdays. Then on Thursdays, we have the travel updates with Tanvi Goel. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very special segment where we talk about what we can do at this point in time in relation to travel. And a very special segment as the 35th episode of the travel updates with Tanvi Goel of Oz in the Travel. So with that, Tanvi, welcome to your 35th episode.
Thank you so much, Umesh. Thank you, everyone, once again. So I'm really excited to be here and here with you again with so many updates in Australia, in India, and everywhere around the world. And I'll tell you all about the flights and everything. Before we go ahead, just a bit of disclaimer. So anything we discuss today is all general information.
Of course, as he mentioned, that anything that's discussed is general information, but we move on, and there's so much that he discusses. Once again, that's so too. You can watch on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel as well.
We can give you options where there are less hold times than the pre-made ones. So if you check online as well and you think, oh my God, there are 50 hours total journey time and that's the only option, that's incorrect. There are quite a few ways where we can give you shorter journey options than that of airport. But there are at least one flight, reliable ones we can have from Adelaide to India at this point.
So that is good news as well, that you have those that option. As you mentioned, it's not direct. There might be that stopover, but that's okay. Well, what about Perth from Western Australia? What are the options from there?
So from Perth, we have at least one flight a week, and sometimes we have 2 flights as well. So at this stage, we have 20th of June, 24th, 27th, and 1st of July. And also we can connect the Qatar flight from Perth as well. So yes, plenty of flights from Perth as well.
So Perth is, if you want to see the whole episode, as I mentioned, that go online and you can watch those full episodes. Well, by the way, starting from this week, we have started to have these segments, the real estate segment with Usha Chandra and the travel update with Tanvi Goel on the radio as well, on our online channel as well. So the real estate update will go to air on air. Not on Facebook Live, on the actual radio station on Friday. So Friday morning 7:30, Subha Ka Safar, and at 5 p.m. with the drive show. And same with the travel updates with Tanvi Goel, which will go to air on Monday morning in Subha Ka Safar, and Monday 5 p.m. At the drive show. So that is wonderful news that, it's a value-added proposition for the shows that we present right here. And of course, if you'd like to, watch the shows, you can always go on our Facebook or our YouTube channel, and all the episodes are there. And also making news throughout was that interview that we had with Chandan Das and Hemant Dua on that upcoming show of theirs. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very, very important segment today. We are going to talk about something which is very close to my heart, as you know, music. So, but music with a cause. With that, we'd like to welcome to the studio, Chandan Das. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Virji. Thank you.
And of course, the Hemant Dua. Thank you so much for being here in the studio. So, the close to my heart, a musical concert. So how did this come about?
So it came to my mind that close to my heart is should be the songs of all favorite eras and favorite musicians and favorite singers. So myself, Hemant, we thought about it and then decided, okay, why not doing a nice concert named Close to My Heart.
And it is a very good name, close to my heart. Okay, so as we know that people, always love music and they like to come to the music, but when it's also supporting a cause, it even makes it better. So, so as we mentioned, that interview and much more throughout the week. So, stay in tune and always look at in our Facebook page, our live segments, and also you can always look at these segments when you go online on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel as well.
There you go. I'd just like to thank you. I would like to thank you to the promoters and the supporting team and the sponsors who have just come on board. We are very overwhelmed. Education Embassy is the presenter of the show. JB Transports, they are the proud supporters. DWIT IT Solutions, they are the proud supporters as well. Indian Times and Brisbane Indian Times and Indian Radio. Umesh Ji is one of the sponsors as well. They are supporting us as a media partner. So just wanted to give regards to the people who have just come up and supported the event. Thank you so much for that.
And don't miss out the concert, please. Please come and join. Enjoy the show.
Saturday 26th, and start at 6 p.m. going till late. See you all there.
See you there.
Thank you, guys.
See you. Bye.
Thank you, Vijay.
See you. Thank you, Vijay.
So as you can see, there's so much that we cover on the channel. We bring to you live interviews and of course those weekly updates with Usha Chandra on real estate. So, and if you have missed any of those channel segments, you can always go online and watch them on our Facebook page or the YouTube channel. Well, right now, let's go on to some news. And of course, with the news, a very sad news that Milkha Singh, the flying Sikh, is no more. Our tributes to him, and we've been listening about him since our very young age, and he's always been a legend. What amazing things he's done. Unfortunately, he's no more. So here's that report, but first up, this report will have the COVID update in India at this point in time. So over 2 crore cases in India. India saw 62,400 plus new cases. Over 3.8 lakh deaths, 2.8 crore discharged. And here are the top updates. And of course, the third wave is what is feared because Delhi government has been easing restrictions in the capital as cases decreased. Zydus Cardelia likely to apply for emergency use and the authorization of the vaccine if it gets approval. It will be the 4th vaccine to get such approval in India. And Milkha Singh passes away, our condolences, and he will always be remembered. The legendary sprinter Milkha Singh passed away at the age of 91. He had contracted COVID-19 and was admitted to the ICU. His condition worsened on Friday as his oxygen saturation level dipped. And of course, the third wave that is predicted, India is gearing up for that. So, how do you keep social distancing in that kind of a crowd, that kind of an environment? Around 40 healthcare specialists were questioned by Reuters on the survey. The second wave is currently receding in India, but the third wave is what's feared. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's an update on the COVID cases in India, and of course, our tribute to Milkha Singh, who passed away. Well, right now, coming back to Australia, let's hear from Health Minister Greg Hunt on the situation.
In terms of hesitancy, what we will have seen, of course, is those that are 50 to 59 who would otherwise have gone for their AstraZeneca, as the Lieutenant General has set out. Obviously, we're expecting them not to proceed at this point in time. But now we go through that process of rebooking. We've seen the work of the different states and territories. And our task, because we've been through this before, when we had the first set of ATAGI advice, there was a period of hesitancy, and it's very understandable. But what we've done today, we've put in place the item for consultation with general practitioners, working with the AMA, working with the College of GPs, and we've also made sure that the states are working alongside the 1,300 GP clinics that will come on board to provide options for people to come forward. And there is, of course, the opportunity that within the 50 to 59 bracket, there may be many people who might not have taken the AstraZeneca who will come forward for the Pfizer. So we'll work through this. We've done this before, and we saw significant vaccinations yesterday, but I think Lieutenant General Fruin was honest that there may be a period of temporary reduction, but yesterday's results were heartening. Rachel? So I'll just go.
So if you look at the vaccination, if you look at the situation worldwide at the moment, and here we are on, 19th of June 2021, and a while back we were said, this is some disease which is here for a short while and we'll overcome that, but we have not. Where are we? Where do we stand? India stands for, bracing itself for the third wave. And of course, worldwide, we hear about so many different cases happening in many different countries. Yesterday, we brought to you the news about our neighboring island nation of Fiji, which is battling with controlling the cases. Well, right now, let's go to Indonesia, as it reaches about 2 million cases.
10-year-old Aisha is still grieving the loss of her mother from COVID-19. The single mum chose to isolate at home after testing positive to care for her daughter, but never got out of bed.
I thought she was asleep. It was about an hour and I was thinking Mum never slept that long. So I shook her to wake her up, but she didn't.
Her death has left Aisha an orphan, now in the care of a council social worker and his wife.
When we took her in, she was so sad. It took time for her to adjust.
Aisha's tragedy underlines the worsening crisis in Indonesia, with a new surge in infections since millions defied a ban on travel after Ramadan. It's being made worse by the rapid spread of the highly contagious Delta variant, now the dominant strain in Jakarta and parts of Java.
The decrease in cases since February distracted us into thinking the pandemic had passed. More often, we're hearing our friends and family are getting COVID.
Hospitals in Jakarta and other areas are again overwhelmed, with many too full to take new patients. Health authorities hope to accelerate the rollout of vaccines with a goal of 1 million shots a day by July, though fears about their health risks and efficacy have caused widespread reluctance in Indonesia. The death of a 22-year-old man in Jakarta after one AstraZeneca dose has scared his family against getting the jab.
No, I don't want to be vaccinated anymore.
In one town in West Java, they're giving live chickens as a reward for reluctant residents who agree to be vaccinated. Anne Barker, ABC News.
So there you go, chicken for vaccines. It's an incentive, so, whatever it takes. So, right now here in Australia, the Minister for Social Affairs and Health in the situation. Encouraging that we do take the vaccine, and if you have had the first dose, make sure you go for the second.
Don't let me go. Your first name is free, last name is dumb, but you still believe in where we're from. Man's white flower, it's in every living thing. Mind, use your power, spirit, use your wings, are made of the same things.
À chaque vaccination, c'est la vie qui reprend. Faisons-nous tous vacciner, maintenant. Tous vaccinés, tous...
So, vaccination is being promoted in many languages and translated into many languages and sent out to the community to distribute. Well, right now, the other debate that we have is on the January 26th. So what is happening on that? Should we celebrate Australia Day on the 26th? Here's a report.
Our national day, and it's a day that has divided us. When we asked this question of tens of thousands of Australians in 2019, there was a near-even split in the response. Back then, 43% of Australians agreed Australia Day should not be celebrated on January 26, given the historical significance of that date for Indigenous people. In 2021, it's an issue that's seen a big change in public opinion. Support for changing the dates up 12 percentage points. Now, 55% of us agree. And it's a significant shift among nearly all age groups, and more agree than disagree in all states and territories, plus in regional and rural areas, which didn't agree 2 years ago. Men are far more divided on this issue than women, 2/3 of whom think Australia Day should not be the 26th of January.
So, it will have serious consequences, and of course that debate still goes on. And the other change that's been implemented is the super. So, with super, what are they going to do with some of the, funds which are not performing well, and some of the funds that are, if there are members in the fund, and if the mismanagement of that fund, it has implications on the members and the contributors, what's going to happen? The government will have power to shut them down.
Big changes are coming to superannuation. From November, the fund you're with, or the first fund you join, will follow you for life. Gone are the days when every new employer pays your super into their chosen fund. If you move jobs, your fund goes with you, unless you choose to change it yourself. This rule aims to reduce people ending up with multiple super funds and paying multiple fees. But what if your fund is one of the worst investment managers? Another new rule requires super funds to tell you when they're not meeting set benchmarks. They will be forced to give clearer information on how they compare to other funds. And if a fund performs badly 2 years in a row, the government can block it from getting new members. There is also a new minimum contribution. Starting July, employers have to pay 10% of your wage into super. That's up from 9.5%. Based on a $50,000 per year salary, this increase could mean $62,000 more in savings by the time you retire.
So there's a few new changes coming in, and it is good to see that single the fund, if you get a number, and I have been saying that for a long time, from the time super was introduced here in Australia, that having multiple funds, and every time people changed employment, you had to get a new number, or go with another fund, and everyone had a choice of getting funds. I said this is a complete mismanagement. When you looked at few countries where the scheme was handled as a separate number, like a text file number, and once you have a number, it stayed for you with life. Now, after so many years, Australia is introducing them. I'm talking about the numbers such as the National Provident Fund number, which is quite prevalent in many countries which were ruled by British. So, say Fiji and India, they all had the Provident Fund, and with the Provident Fund, people could withdraw money, invest in houses, sometimes used for big family expenses such as marriages. So that scheme is now going to be introduced here in Australia finally. And the other point that I had been making for a long time was the agriculture visa, that we have boundless plains to share, but we are not doing much with those plains because we lack manpower. So if there was a special visa to get manpower in to work on those farms, we could produce a lot of food which can be exported. Manufacturing is another different sector which is very hard for Australia to compete on a world market, but farming, yes, with the infrastructure and the boundless plains, we can do it, but we needed the manpower. Now finally the government has woken up to that with the introduction of the farming visa, the agriculture visa, which is not 100% implemented yet, but the talks are there. Nationals are very happy about that. Word by word they've recited of what I had said. So, and it's good to see some of these progressive things happening. Well, right now let's take a look at our sponsors for the segment.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Usha Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is the world, and don't forget that every Wednesday we have the real estate update with Usha Chandra, and now it will also go to air on Friday morning in Subhaka Safar and at 5 p.m. On the Drive Show of Australian Indian Radio online version. Well, right now let's take a look at some of the functions and events taking place right here in Brisbane. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's some of the functions and events taking place in and around Brisbane. As we know, Gopio Gold Coast is hosting their annual dinner tonight, another sold-out function. And, of course, we have the Dragon Boat Festival for the first time in Clontarf at Pelican Beach tomorrow. So, you know, there is lots more happening in Brisbane now as the pandemic ceases. But, of course, we know about Melbourne and Sydney now, so we always need to be careful. Well, the breaking news is India Day Fair is back this year, and this year we're going to a COVID-safe venue, which is the South Bank Piazza, and of course it is undercover as well, so you don't have to sit out in the sun, and if it rains, the show still goes on, and supporting the show is Councillor Angela Owen.
What I'll do. Hello everyone, I'm Councillor Angela Owen, and it's with great pleasure once again that I throw my support behind India Day Fair to be held this year on the 15th of August at Suncorp Piazza at South Bank in Brisbane. This is for many years, and it is wonderful to know that it is continuing and growing from strength to strength.
And thank you so much, Councillor, for your support as usual. And ladies and gentlemen, do mark your diaries, the 15th of August at Suncorp Piazza, celebrating India's Independence Day, and together with all cultural items and other things, whatever is possible to be done under the current restrictions, where there are rules and regulations regarding, if we get artists from overseas or interstate, that they need to go into quarantine. So all these things are challenges. challenges, but we will look at everything, of course. And yes, don't forget that tomorrow, the Navgara Yagna at Vishnu Maya Mandir from 10 a.m. onwards. Everyone is welcome to come and take part in the. Thanks, Devika, for that reminder. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Navgara Puja Yagna, which happens once a year, and it is very, very important for anyone who wishes to have the evil eyes removed. And it is a very, very important puja, yagna, which you can come and take part at Sri Vishnu Maya Mandir. It's got in McLean, so you can take part in that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's wonderful to have your company today on the weekend edition. Hope to see you all back on Monday with the updates. Until then, it's goodbye from me, and have a wonderful weekend and stay safe.